Hello everyone, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Ultimate General Civil War. We've just fought the Battle of Antietam, or Sharpsburg, I believe for you Southerners, and we've won the battle in decisive fashion, destroying more or less the Army of Northern Virginia and moving on in the campaign. You can see here we've gained quite a bit of reputation up here. 96 reputation is very strong for a commander. And we've since replaced our casualties in the army. So you can see here all of these units are at 2,000 men, which is more or less full strength for the brigades. At the moment, we are entering into the Fredericksburg Campaign, although it's interesting because we're about to fight the Fredericksburg Campaign, and yet the two minor battles which take place before it, are in Kentucky. So that's a little bit weird, but hey, it is what it is. That being said, here we've got $270,000 and almost 9,000 recruits that we can assign. We've also got to go ahead and assign our career points. We've got 2 that we were awarded for the victory, and we've got to replace a few commanders. A division commander and 2 brigade commanders were wounded or killed in action, and we've got to go ahead and replace them before we're ready to fight. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to go over here to the career points, and we're going to add, let's see here, increasing your level in economy will reduce the cost of purchasing new weapons. All right, we're going to go ahead and add 2 points to the economy piece. We've got a large army, and it's relatively large, but it's going to kind of continue staying large. The one thing that I want to make sure I can do is I can equip my forces with modern weapons. The entire 1st Corps has rifled muskets, but the 2nd Corps is much less well equipped. We've got some, the 1st Division is well equipped, but everybody else is kind of using these Springfields for the most part, with the exception of 1 brigade. The entire 3rd Corps is using poor weapons as well. So if I can substantially reduce the cost of those weapons, I can more effectively outfit my forces with good weapons and move from there. So the economy is now heavily subsidized, if you will. You can see here that we've got reasonable medicine. I believe it's 8% of casualties are restored. We've got very good training, which allows our veteran replacements to be inexpensive. We haven't used a lot of veteran replacements yet. And then the economy, which allows us to buy cheap guns, so that's good. With that being said, now that we've assigned that, we can go ahead and assign some divisional commanders. So the Iron Brigade currently has John Gibbon. Now, I'm hesitant to give another... There's 2 John Gibbons here, right? So I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take Major General Ian Baxter, who's commanding Baxter's Brigade. I'm going to go ahead and replace him with Jordan Schweitzer, who's a Brigadier General. And then I'm going to use that 2-star general to go ahead and replace the 1st Division Commander. So we've got a Major General in charge of the 1st Division. We've also got 2 brigades, Stark's and Heinz's brigades, with no commanders. We'll go ahead and give Joseph Hooker, a Brigadier General, command of one of those brigades. And Heinz's brigade will get General or Colonel Clifton Nelson. So it'll change over to Nelson's brigade. With that being said, we've replaced all of our officers with all of our casualties with more experienced officers. The 2nd Corps has a slightly under provided for artillery unit. Terry's battery has a captain in charge. We're actually going to go ahead and use our 1 reserve colonel, put him in charge of that unit, and then we can go ahead and use that as a perk to give them a little bit more ammo and efficiency. So there you go. We've got a colonel in charge of a 16-gun battery in the 2nd Corps. With that being said, I think that just about does it. If we go into the barracks here, we've got Captain Marvin Terry, who's about to be promoted to Major. We could have allowed him to fight at that disadvantage, but we won't. And we've got 3 wounded figures, William Sherman, Sean Hines, and Edgar Stark. William Sherman obviously being William Tecumseh Sherman. Unfortunately, General Ulysses S. Grant was killed not that long ago. Additionally, here you can see we've got a lot of officers that we could hire to take over some commands, but no one that we're going to right now. We don't really need to. The armory has some weapons in reserve, the 1841 Missouri or Mississippi rifle, quite a few M&J Type 2s, which I'm not quite sure what they are, but they seem to be very efficient. They look to be some sort of rifled weapons. So it's based on the 1841 Mississippi, it looks like. I'm guessing it's some kind of southern copy or something like that. And then a very small number of Harper's Ferries. So we've got $200,000 and almost 8,000 recruits to play with. The entire 1st Corps is equipped with very good weapons, so we'll kind of leave them as is. And we'll start to kind of replace the weapons here in the 2nd Division of the 2nd Corps. So the 1st Brigade, Webb's Brigade, already has some pattern Enfield rifled muskets, but everybody else is using Springfield 1842 smoothbores. So with that being said, we can go ahead and replace the M&J Type 2, which we just picked up and captured from the Confederates. We don't have any in stock because they're a Confederate weapon, but we can cheaply replace the existing weapons with this rifled design. Its reloading is a little bit lower than our existing weapons, but its efficiency and melee are very strong, so I think that'll be a bit of an upgrade. We'll go ahead and give those guys those guns. In addition, Ector's Brigade is going to need to be upgraded as well. Similarly, we don't have enough Mississippis to equip his force. We don't have enough M&Js anymore. We don't have enough anything else in stock. So we're just going to kind of jump ahead to the 1855 Springfields. We'll go ahead and equip those guys with the standard issue weapon for the Union. We're going to do the same thing for Hooker's Command. We're going to go ahead and give them some 1855 Springfields. I noticed the 1861 did perk up in the armory. We don't have any. We can't buy any. It's not enough. I don't think we have any at all. But it's worth mentioning that we're going to get some new weapons coming here shortly. So we'll spend another $50,000 upgrading Hooker's force.
Sir, yes, sir!
And if we go over here into the armory, we'll see here we've got the 1861 and 1863, neither of which is available yet, but there are some Springfields that'll be coming. Fayetteville's and Spencer's also, although, again, not yet. So the second, or sorry, we're moving on to the second corps. The second corps, the 2nd Division, is now going to be entirely rifled. 1855, so the majority with 1 M&J and 1 Enfield. The 1st Corps is already entirely rifled, or 1st Division is entirely rifled. And the 3rd Division now needs its guns. So we're going to go ahead and start equipping these guys with more modern weapons. With that being said, the Enfield would cost us $48,000. So actually the Enfield rifled musket would be cheaper than going with more 1855s. So we'll do that. It'll save us $2,000 to do that. We'll go ahead and equip Iverson's brigade as well with some more modern weapons. We're going to go ahead and replace their weapons with some Springfields, which, again, we have quite a few of these in stock. We're going to do the same thing to Nelson's as well, which I believe will probably be the last unit that'll be upgraded to these before we kind of run out of money. That's smart. We're some Springfield. Okay. Or we could go with the Lorenz. The Lorenz would actually be substantially cheaper. Let's go with the Lorenz rifled musket. We've already got some units with those. They're an Austrian design. Good efficiency, good morale, just not great reloading. And with $37,000 left, I think we're kind of up a creek without a paddle here. We could, if we had more Lorenzes, we could equip them, but we don't have enough money for the Springfields. So we're kind of at a loss at the moment. We need about $13,000 more. I'm going to go into the armory here. We can see here these reboard farmers' muskets are never going to be used, so we'll go ahead and sell those for about $2,500. We now have over 12,000 Springfield 1842 smoothbores. We may end up needing those, but we don't need the Mississippis. We're never going to end up using those. And the M&Js will probably need some of those. We'll probably need some Harper's Ferries as replacements for existing weapons. So we'll leave those guys all there. Meanwhile, we do have a cavalry brigade, so we'll leave the Sharps. The sawed-off shotguns, I'm never going to use, so we're going to go ahead and sell those. We'll keep the Sharps, as we've already said. Then we have some artillery currently in reserve as well, but I'm just going to kind of leave that as is for the moment. So with selling a few of those weapons, we've actually allowed ourselves to work on upgrading more weapons. So we go into the 2nd Corps here. The entire 2nd Division was already upgraded. The 3rd Division was mostly upgraded. We've got 3 of the 4 brigades. So now we have Lawman's Brigade of the 3rd Division Corps, which is ready to be upgraded, which we're going to go ahead and give him some 1855s, because now that we have enough money, we can do that. And there you have it. So the entire 1st and 2nd Corps in the Army of the Potomac, or the Union Army, is now completely outfitted with rifled muskets. The 3rd Corps is not, and we don't have money to make it so. So that is what it is. Let's go ahead and replace Schleffler with a colonel to free up a brigadier general spot. And I'm thinking we can go ahead and free up Pleasanton as well with a colonel spot if we have money, but we apparently don't. About 100 shy, so we'll sell about 40 of these. 46 of these to get it to an even 200. $17. So we'll go ahead and take the 3rd Corps, get Pleasanton's division or brigade in the hands of a Lieutenant Colonel, Kevin Williams. Now I've got 2 commanders freed up. So the 3rd Division and the 3rd Corps, we're going to use Alfred Pleasanton to command the Corps, or division. And then we can go ahead and raise a new infantry brigade with a full 2,000 men. And I don't think we have... Don't. Go to the armory here. Are there any artillery pieces I'm never going to use again? 6-pounders we might need 2 of. We can sell 2 of them. 12-pound howitzers, I don't know. I don't know about the rest of the guns. I may want to keep the rest of the guns. But we have $1,500 left, which we can use to buy a lieutenant colonel, Jeremy Sanders. We can go ahead and equip his guys all with those 1842s, which we now have in stock, thanks to selling off or replacing all those brigades' weapons. There you go. Now we can raise a 2nd brigade with the Brigadier General Slefling as well. So there you go. 2 brigades now. And we can go ahead and raise an artillery brigade with Marvin Terry. And which gun do we have the most of in the bank? We've got the 12-pound howitzers. Yes, we've got 8 of them. So we can actually raise 8 of them for free. And we'll just kind of do that. That'll be kind of a small battery. 8 guns, an 8-gun battery of 12-pound howitzers raised for free under Marvin Terry. And that about does it. We're 2 infantry brigades shy of a full corps. We actually have enough manpower to raise those 2 infantry brigades. We would just need to sell off more weaponry, which maybe we should do. We sell these Spencers, it'll give us $1,900. Leaves us $1,200 for officers. Go ahead and sell 1 of these ordnance rifles, just so we have a little bit of cash on hand. 3rd Corps, go ahead and raise another infantry brigade. We need a little bit more money to hire someone better. A good major the job. Marvin Vaughn, it's $1,000, but we'll pay that fee. And we'll go ahead and raise 1 more infantry brigade. We really want to give a major the reins. I mean, we've already got a whole division that's almost more or less commanded by majors. Maybe we just do it. I guess we do. Alright, so there you go. We've got an entire 3rd Corps now built out. The 3rd Corps is shaky with a lot of majors and commanded brigades. Certainly needs a little bit of work. It's got an undersized artillery battery, which probably can expand it a little bit. See if we can expand it to 9 guns. We can afford that. I'd like to get it to 16, if I'm being honest. What if we reduce this by 100? Reduce our stockpile here by... Well, let's say 50 instead. Reduce that by 50. Gets us almost to 1,000. Harper's Ferries, we've got some in stock. We can sell those. Springfields, we're not going to need 6,000 of them, I don't think. So maybe we just sell 1,250. Still leaves us with over 5,000 of the things. Gives us $8,000 more, almost $10,000 more. Now we can use that 3rd Corps unit to kind of expand. And there you go, a 16-gun battery. So we've got a full 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Corps. 24,870 in the 1st, 24,120 in the 2nd, 24,120 in the 3rd. That gives us just over 72,000 soldiers. With some 52, that gives us 148 artillery pieces. This is a strong Army of the Potomac. And I know I've just taken up 15 minutes talking about this force, but this is a good formation. Now, we'll probably need to use some career points to expand the size of our force here shortly so we can have more than 3 corps. Nonetheless, we've got a strong, strong force. Next battle coming up is the Battle of Iuka, which is the government requested to advance part of your army to take Iuka and join elements of our forces in the Tennessee that approach from the north. Little's Confederate division, spotted near the Jacinto Road Junction, 2 miles south of Iuka, is taking up positions to halt your advance. You have to attack Little and clear the way to Iuka. A victory gives us $66,000 more, not a ton. We get 3,300 more recruits with a victory, 5 prestige perk, which is unusual. In the past, it had always been 4. I don't know if it's a little bit higher because I went with the political point. Career move or not, I'm not quite sure. You can see here in this battle we can only bring 10 brigades to bear, and if we were to use the 1st Corps, which are kind of our crack troops, we would be going up against just 8,000 Confederates by intelligence. So we are going to go ahead and use our elite corps, the 1st Corps, under George B. Gamer, and you can see here 1 rebel division has taken position to halt your advance. You have to attack the rebels and clear the way. So we're using some of our crack troops. We've got 10 brigades that we can bring into play. We can go ahead and put the Iron Brigade West over here. These are kind of elite. Put them second. Elite troops that we were awarded after the last victory. And they're kind of I don't have a vested interest in them per se because they're not troops I ever raised. They're just troops that were given. But with that being said, obviously we want to make sure that we're thinking about how we're using them because they're very good troops. I don't think we have any artillery in this battle. Oh, we do have the one. We have Brooks Brigade. Yeah. So there you go. We're massing up on the roadway with a little bit of support on either flank. And we're going to go ahead and pause. So you can see our goal is to advance toward this enemy location. And let's go ahead and do that. Take Caldwell's force, advance up this road, right on the objective. Take the Iron Brigade, advance up this road, kind of keep them in reserve. Harris's Brigade, likewise. Pettit's Brigade, swing over, try and flank. And the artillery will go up the road as well and position in the open. Meanwhile, Crocker's Brigade is going to try and flank right. Garfield will be kind of between him and the center. This other Iron Brigade, the 2nd Iron Brigade, will fill in the ranks. Springfields will also try and go up and over. The Irish Brigades will kind of come in. So wide flanking maneuvers on both flanks with a frontal assault by the troops already in the open. George B. Gaber going to move kind of forward along with the supply wagon. We'll see how this all goes. I'm trying to move some of these guys through open terrain to get a little bit better performance, but we'll see. Not sure if I get any reinforcements. I don't think so. It seemed like I had 10 units to deploy, and the game also gave me 10. So you can see George B. Gamer's under artillery fire by the enemy. All our forces continue to move up. My personal general is being pounded by artillery. Caldwell forming into line. So here, actually, the Confederates, for whatever reason, set up a defensive position in line. We'll have Caldwell charge these skirmishers. Alright. I don't know why the skirmishers are sticking around unless their goal is to die. Caldwell's taken relatively heavy casualties. I'd rather he... Who's Garfield? Oh, Garfield. Oh, shit. Our supply wagon just surrendered. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so Crocker's kind of hit him in the flank. He's going to continue going that way. Iron Brigade's going to advance. Go ahead and drop some skirmishers out of Pettit's force to engage these guys. Move him over on the flank. Alright. Alright, moving these guys up through the woods. Also go into the woods. Well, Caldwell's still retreating, but we'll get him to recover. Meanwhile, one brigade is kind of sitting in the open. Two brigades charging gates on the Confederate flank. Hopefully we can quickly overrun this guy. Drive him from his position. There you go. Alright. And two quick brigades firing volleys into Gates's force as they retreat. First Brigade is being flanked. Alright. No, we could put our troops in these defensive positions, but we did overwhelm them there on the right. Crocker's gonna come up. We're trying for a double envelopment here. Okay, Pettit will come up. He's in almost canister range. The Irish Brigade keeps retreating. You guys into good defensive terrain. Alright, so they're in closer. So they're definitely in canister range, Pettit's forces are, and that's certainly a risk, but they're also firing into these guys at point-blank range, so hopefully they can get them to retreat. Just did. These guys are trying to retreat. Bring that up. Springfield's doing okay on this flank. And yeah, we've got 2 more hours. We're kind of skirmishing in the front, this central group of guys. And now I've got troops on both flanks of the frontal defensive unit, Hebert's brigade. Meanwhile, we just drove one of these artillery batteries back. More than 50% casualties. And there you go. The enemy front line is collapsing. And they're retreating. Okay. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get these guys into the woods. The Irish Brigade's coming up. Briggs outnumbered. Pettit's going to advance. Irish Brigade's going to actually advance on the flank here. Trying to turn Gates out of his position. We're almost on the objective point. 2 hours left. Assuming this is all we have to do to win. Could be wrong. Clark's battery of artillery is quickly retreating. Martin's brigade is taking interesting commitment to taking a fair amount of punishment. Halt and shoot. Okay, so the objective is ours. Martin's brigade is running. Get another volley on them, hopefully with Harris's boys. They run through the woods. And the objective is ours, Commander. Multiple Confederate brigades are destroyed in glorious fashion. Alright, so continue to advance. This is a minor battle. I'm sorry it took up like 15 minutes just kind of describing my purchasing practices, but I hope it was somewhat illuminating, maybe? I don't know. Okay, Green's retreating. That's going to fire at this cavalry. Alright, I know I'm a little bit quiet, guys. Sorry, it's kind of late as I'm playing this, but we've taken the objective. We've got an hour and 40 minutes left in the battle. Only 10 more minutes, I think, that we have to hold it. The Confederates are running. Confederate brigades don't seem to be up to size, while Union brigades definitely are. The Confederate ones are not. We're only going to get 3,000 replacements. We've lost definitely over 1,000, I think. The second mass is being driven back. We did lose our supply wagon, which is a bit of a blow. Okay, so I've captured the objective. I'm just waiting to see if the battle ends or if we have to continue holding out for the next hour and a half. Seems like we may have to hold out for the next hour and a half. Alright. Either way, it's a good chance for us to ravage more Confederate forces. Hopefully with limited casualties and inflicting substantial casualties of our own so that we can, you know, when you inflict casualties on the enemy, they lose weapons. And if they lose too many weapons... well, not too many, but if they lose a lot of weapons, those are all weapons that help equip your force. And we've got 2 brigades about to fire into Gates here. He's greatly weakened. 1 is routing. There's the other. He's going to continue routing, and wow, did his brigade really kind of vaporized a bit there. He's retreating, but we're at the edge of the map, too, so he doesn't have a ton of space to retreat. Actually, he's retreating toward our troops, which will make shooting at him all that much easier. There you go. Gates suffers another volley here as he races off to the right. Garfield's going to move in. Barrett, Springfield's, Irish Brigade. All of them trying to push the enemy off the map. Gates tries to reform and ends up being dealt a blow. We've got the Iron Brigade back here sitting on the objective just to make sure if the enemy sends any kind of surprise force around that they don't, you know, truly surprise us and beat us. Alright, Herbert is stuck in the open. Our troops are mixed between the open and cover. Alright, gone. Ooh, one more good volley from Garfield before he runs. And maybe Conquer. There you go, Herbert. There you go. Double volley, Herbert just vaporizing. Move Caldwell up. Maybe we can get a volley on him this way. There you go. Good volley there. And his brigade is almost gone. So do we really have to do this for another hour? It's kind of been a bit of a boring battle, I'd say. Alright, so we're going to fast forward things just a little bit. See what happens. Green's brigade. Alright, that brigade's gone. Really, I can't believe they didn't just end the game. We got some forces kind of sitting back, not doing much. Wasn't the most efficient fight. They did try and sneak back into the objective. Okay. I don't think they're going to have the strength to do anything about it. Gates especially. Yep. So there he goes. Running off. And we just destroyed him. And Herbert's destroyed. So the two brigades that kind of tried a little sneaky move are gone. Martin's brigade is gone. What is left of this Confederate army? Go ahead and retake these supplies. Got 28 minutes. Might as well. We don't have any cavalry, so they'll probably be able to escape. Alright. There is some Confederate cavalry over here. Oh. Getting off the edge of the map, I suppose. Can they run any further? Doesn't look like it, but doesn't look like there's any way we're gonna get to these guys before the battle ends. So it looks like they'll have captured our cavalry, the one enemy brigade. Anyway, it's a victory. So we lost 1,000 men. The enemy lost almost 5,000, almost 90% of their force. They lost over 1,200 cavalry, or over 600 cavalry. So all told, more than 5,000 casualties on their end. 20 guns. We lost 1 man in a battery, and about 1,100 men. We look at what we captured or rescued 156 of our Lorenzas, 252 of our Springfields, some Harper's Ferries, some Sharps. We also captured some Sharps, 1855. Kind of surprised we didn't capture more. Oh, there you go. We've got some M&Gs, some Palmettos, some Mississippis, captured 6 enemy field guns, and 178 sawed-off shotguns. So all told, we lost 1,000 men, and we rescued, let's see here, we rescued our supply too. We rescued less than half of that in terms of our own weapons, but we captured a lot more, and won the victory. So we gained 3 times the number of recruits as we lost in casualties. You can see here we've maxed our prestige out. 100 appears to be the max because we were at 96 before the battle. We earned 5, and we're at 100 now. So 100 apparently does appear to be the maximum number. And we fought with the First Corps. So we lost 1,000 men in the First Corps. But the good thing is here, we can really afford to replace a lot of these guys with veterans if we want. I don't think we lost enough men where we can't afford to replace them with veterans, at least in the 1st Division, which is kind of the critical division, where everybody's really experienced, and even parts of the 2nd Division, where we've got like 9 guys that have to be replaced. I'm just replacing these guys right now. Some with, actually, I guess I replaced them all with elite troops, so I suppose that's a positive. Won another victory to add to our illustrious career. You can see here that we took a huge hit in our supply chain, so only 2,500 supply left. We kind of give you a baseline to go back with, but we have to spend a whole bunch of money to get us back to the 16,000 plus that we were at before. It only leaves us $30,000, which doesn't leave us a lot to do with weapons, but I suppose it is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and add another... do we want to add another economy point to the economy, I guess? Get it up to 9, almost maxing it out. I don't think any commanders were wounded. They weren't. Go ahead and sell some of these M&Js. These 1841 Mississippis can be sold. Palmettos can be sold. We don't have anyone with them. Skirmishers, the Sharps, captured a few more of those. Sawed-offs, we'll go ahead and sell those. Artillery, we captured more 6-pound field guns. I don't know. I don't think we have any other troops with them except the 1 battery, which is almost maxed out as is. We could go ahead and issue the order to max it out. These 20 guns. Go ahead and give them 24. Give them rookies. It's all free. I don't think we have any other batteries, so I guess that means in the armory we can go ahead and sell. We'll sell all but 1 of these 6-pounders. Just for a little bit of money. We'll keep the 1 in supply in case we lose some casualties. Which gets us back up to around $40,000. The 1st, 2nd Corps completely paid off with high-quality weapons. The 3rd Corps is all smooth bores. Yeah, so let's see here. How expensive is it? Lorenzas, we don't have enough. Enfields, we don't have enough. 1855s we do, but we need $50,000. We only have $40,000. So that's kind of the big drawback right now, is we just don't have enough money. Which we could solve, right? Like if we wanted to sell, we got 700 of these M&Gs. If we wanted to say, all right, we can sell 336 of these. Get us a lot closer to that $50,000 mark. Say we wanted to sell 100 more. We'd have to sell almost all of them. Yeah, we would. The Springfields, we don't need 5,000 of them, right? Maybe we just sell 1,000 of these things? Until we increase our army org, we're not going to have bigger forces anyway. That gives us over 50,000. For that 3rd Corps, we can have that 1 brigade, which is crack weapons, the Springfield 1855s. So there you go. It also gives us 2,000 of those 1842s back. So we were down to 4, we're back up to 6. And with one brigade here now sporting some rifled muskets. With that being said, guys, I think that's going to do it for this video. It's a little bit more down key, a little bit more laid back, nothing too exciting. We've got a little bit of reputation we should probably spend, because it appears, I didn't know this till this battle, but reputation appears to max out at 100. And frankly, we've got a lot that we can spend. So if we want more money, if we want more soldiers, whatever we want to do, if we want to get some 1861 Springfields, we can go that route too. Get more good commanders, Samuel Carroll, Philip Patrick Kelly, all in preparation to the Battle of Fredericksburg, which will be coming. But with that being said, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up with that minor victory at the Battle of Iuka. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. I'll try and be a little bit more upbeat and energetic in the next video. Again, hope you guys all enjoyed, and hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Till next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching.